When everyone thought that this was just a dream, Mercedes has finally done what no one was expecting. Yes, you heard it right. Mercedes has now openly announced that their YASA Flux engine has now become a reality. Such a powerful, so light and so advanced engine, which was only being talked about in papers and rumors till now, is now ready to enter the real world. There is a stir in the entire auto industry that what is there in this engine that can leave everyone behind. The question is also being raised whether this technology is going to become a headache for companies like Tesla and BYD in the coming time, and why did Mercedes keep it hidden for so many years? In this video, we will tell you what is the secret behind the YASA Flux engine, how it works, and why it is being said that it is going to change the world of electric cars. So stay with us till the end, because the more you move forward, the bigger revelations will surprise you. And yes, before moving on to the video, please subscribe to the channel so that such great information reaches you first. What is this YASA Flux engine? This is the biggest question that is going around in everyone's mind today. After this new announcement by Mercedes, the whole world was shocked that what is this YASA Flux engine, which is putting so many big companies in tension. Actually, till now, people used to ignore this engine, considering it to be just an experiment or a prototype. There were talks about it quietly for many years. Some people used to say that it is impossible, while some used to say that perhaps it will not become a reality for the next 20 to 25 years. But Mercedes proved everyone wrong. Now the question arises that where did Mercedes get such an idea from? Actually, the biggest problem in comparison to electric cars has always been the efficiency of the motor and the range of the battery. The more power is needed, the more battery consumption. And the more battery you put, the heavier the car becomes. This is where Mercedes engineers got a revolutionary idea. Why not make a motor that is small, light, but has such power that it can wipe out the names of motors of other companies? This is where the concept of YASA Flux Motor was born. The design of Flux Motor is so different that it reduces the weight of the car, increases the range of the battery, and the power is also amazing. But Mercedes did not present it to the world immediately because they knew that it would not be right to launch such a big technology with half-hearted preparations. This is the reason why Mercedes kept it a secret for many years. So far, all this was just in rumors. Sometimes if any news leaked, people would say that it is just talk. All this is not possible. But now Mercedes itself has come in front of the world and said, yes, YASA Flux engine is a reality, and this is the moment that has shaken the auto industry of the whole world. Mercedes is planning what was going on behind the scenes for so many years now. Let's talk about the planning of Mercedes, which made this day possible. Very few people know that Mercedes had bought the YASA company in 2021 itself. At that time, people considered it just a simple deal. No one paid much attention. But in reality, Mercedes' real move started from here. YASA was actually a small company in Britain which was doing research on motor technology. They had made prototypes of flux motors, which were quite advanced in themselves, but they did not have enough money in their pockets to produce this technology on a large scale. At the same time, Mercedes had understood the real power of this technology. After buying YASA, Mercedes gave them a free hand, said, take as much time as you want, do as much research as you want, just make such a motor that becomes an example in front of the world. After this, Mercedes did not hold a single press conference regarding this for many years. Everything looked calm from the outside, but inside the team of Mercedes and YASA was working on it day and night. Testing continued, failures kept coming, then improvements kept happening. Mercedes maintained such secrecy about it that even its own dealers were not informed about it. For them, it was just a future plan. Now, when Mercedes announced this engine, everyone's eyes were wide open. People could not believe that the thing they considered impossible was now standing on the show floor. Flux technology, how is it different? By now, you must be wondering why this YASA Flux engine is so special. What is it that makes it different from other electric motors? So let us explain to you in very simple language what this flux technology actually is, and how much more powerful, lighter, and efficient it is than other motors. First of all, understand that the motors that were being used in electric cars till now mostly worked on radial flow design. This means that the current and magnetic field inside the motor rotate in such a way that a large part of the energy is wasted in heat. The more power is needed, the heavier and bigger the motor had to be. This is the reason why it was always difficult to strike a balance in electric vehicles. Either you get more range or more power. Both were not available together. Now flux technology has changed this whole thinking. Flux motor actually works on axial flux design. Now what is this axial flux? Understand it like this. The design of the old motor was like a wheel rotating round and round. But the design of the flux motor is like a fan. In this, the magnetic field and current move at such an angle that the wastage of power is almost negligible. The biggest advantage of this technology is that the size of the motor has become very small. Just imagine that earlier, for the same power that you had to install a 100 kg motor, the same power is now available in the flux motor with a motor of just 30 to 40 kg. That means the weight of the vehicle has reduced. Less weight means less pressure on the battery and more range of the battery. The second advantage is its efficiency. The flux motor converts about 96 to 97% of energy into power. The efficiency of the rest of the old motors was less than this, and they also generated more heat. The flux motor remains cool and maintains its performance for a longer time. The third thing is power density, that is more power in a smaller size. The flux motor is so powerful that it gives almost double the power in the same space. This means that you can keep the vehicle lighter and still get more speed and pickup. Now, Mercedes engineers have made YASA Flux technology even better. The specialty of YASA was that they found such a combination of magnets and windings that it made the motor more compact. This is the reason why Mercedes is now thinking of installing this motor in high-performance cars like its AMG series. Imagine if a motor is so light that it can be lifted by just 2 people, and yet is so powerful that it gives performance like a supercar. Then how big a deal is this? Flux motor means that your car will now be more responsive, the battery will last longer, charging will happen quickly, and the driving experience will be fun. Not only this, manufacturing cost also decreases with flux technology because it does not require large complex parts. This means that in the coming time, Mercedes can bring this technology to mass-market cars as well. And this is the reason why other companies have lost their sleep. Companies like Tesla, BYD, are now busy copying this technology. So in simple words, due to flux motor, electric cars will now become more economical, more powerful, and have more range. This is the reason why, after this announcement of Mercedes, there is a stir in the whole world. The real game of flux technology leaving behind the old motors. This motor is going to give a new direction to the world of electric cars. And the most special thing is that Mercedes prepared it secretly for so many years and now presented it to the world competition. Why is it a threat to Tesla, BYD, and other companies? Now the question arises that why has this YASA Flux engine of Mercedes become such a big threat to other companies, and who is most afraid? So the answer is simple. Companies like Tesla and BYD, because till now Tesla was considered the king in the world of electric cars. Their motors were called the most efficient and most advanced in the world. BYD had also made a stronghold in the market with its cheap and affordable cars. But now that Mercedes has shown a glimpse of the flux motor, the whole game can change. First of all, let's talk about Tesla. The motors currently installed in Tesla's vehicles are based on radial flow design. These motors give good performance, but their size and weight are more than that of flux motors. Tesla's motors require a large system for cooling, and they heat up quickly when they give high performance continuously. On the other hand, the design of the flux motor is such that it fits in less space, is lightweight, and can give full performance for a longer time. Now, if any car company claims that it can give twice the power in a motor half the size of Tesla's motor, then obviously Tesla will be scared because this is not just a matter of performance, it is also a matter of cost and range. The flux motor is lightweight, which reduces the weight of the car, and the battery can last longer. This means that Mercedes can make cars like Tesla in the future, and that too much cheaper and more powerful. Now let's come to BYD. BYD has made its mark in the market because they make cheap and reliable electric cars, but their motors also work on old radial technology. That means the performance is not that strong. If Mercedes starts producing the flux motor on a large scale and brings down its cost, then it will be difficult for companies like BYD to compete. Actually, flux motor is being considered a game changer in the EV industry because it gives 3 things together: more power, more range, and less cost. Till now, no company has been able to balance these 3 things. Either the range was good but the power was less, or the power was more and the range was reduced. Flux Motor completely changed this balance. Another big advantage of this is flexibility in design. Flux Motor can be fitted in small space, which gives more freedom in designing the interior of the car. It can also be installed in those vehicles where electric motor could not be fitted till now. Now imagine if Mercedes puts this motor in its AMG models and launches it in the market. Then why will people look towards Tesla when AMG like supercar performance, more range, and Mercedes trust will be available? Then Tesla's problems are sure to increase. BYD is also afraid that Mercedes may bring this technology to affordable vehicles, because if this happens, BYD may lose the crown of cheap and durable electric vehicles. Actually, the Flux Motor game is so big that other companies are left with only two options. Either they research on this technology themselves, or buy the technology from Mercedes. And if Mercedes keeps control over it through patents, then they can stay ahead in this game for many years. That is why it is being said that this Flux engine of Mercedes is going to be a game changer in the EV industry. This is not just a new motor, but a technology that will change the direction of electric cars, and this is the reason why Tesla, BYD, and other companies have lost their sleep. Testing and result. What did Mercedes prove? By now we have understood what the YASA Flux Motor is, and how it is becoming a threat to other companies. But the question is, where has Mercedes tested it so far, and what did they prove by showing it to the public? Let us tell you the story of this entire journey. When Mercedes bought the YASA company, they started secret testing on this motor. Initially, this motor was being used only for small tests in the lab, like checking its power on a dynamometer, doing a cooling test, seeing its efficiency when running for a long time. In the first few years, the results were not very good. Sometimes the motor would overheat. Sometimes its magnetic plates would break, but the YASA team gradually improved it. By 2022, Mercedes prepared the first working prototype of this motor. It was first tested on the platform of Mercedes EQS. EQS is their flagship electric car, which till now had a radial motor. By installing the Flux motor, they saw that the weight of the car became lighter by about 70 kilograms, and the battery range increased by about 12%. The engineers were delighted to hear this. After this, they started testing this motor in their AMG series. AMG models are anyway famous for high performance. The Flux motor did wonders there too. In the AMG EQA and AMG EQS models, the Flux motor increased the speed of the car from 0 to 100 km per hour by about 0.7 seconds, and that too, without putting much pressure on the battery. Mercedes ran the AMG EQE, equipped with the Flux motor, for 24 hours continuously on its private track and saw that the motor did not heat up much and there was no drop in power. This test was the most important, because in old motors the motor would heat up quickly due to continuous driving at high speed, and the performance would start falling. The Flux motor proved that it can give full performance for a long time. Then Mercedes took a step further and tried it in SUVs. The Flux motor was tested in EQSUV and EQSUV models. SUVs weigh more and require more torque. But the Flux motor proved itself here too. The vehicle became lighter, the pickup became smoother, and the battery efficiency also improved. In 2024, Mercedes finally demoed this motor in front of the media at a private event. There they ran the EQS, equipped with the Flux motor on the runway. Everyone was surprised when the EQS accelerated from 0 to 100 km per hour in just 3.2 seconds. Seeing such smooth and fast acceleration, people felt that it was performing like an AMG car with a petrol engine. Mercedes also showed in this demo how the battery range improved with the Flux motor. They ran the EQE Flux version and the normal EQE together on the track. The battery of the normal EQE ran out, but the Flux EQE was still running 50 kilometers more. After these tests and demos, Mercedes proved that the Flux motor is no longer just an experimental thing in the lab. It is now ready for production, and it can be installed not only in high-end models, but also in mid-range and entry-level electric cars in the future. This move of Mercedes is actually a challenge for other companies. They have shown the world how much potential the Flux technology actually has. Now Tesla, BYD, and other companies will also have to work again on their motors so that they can survive in this competition. They impact on the global market. When Mercedes introduced the YASA Flux motor to the world, it was not just about a new motor, but it was a big blow to the entire global auto industry. Now the question is, what will be the impact of this motor on the global market? How will this change the strategy of companies, and what difference will it make for common customers? Let's understand this in a very simple way. First of all, let's talk about big brands. Companies like Tesla, BYD, Ford, Hyundai, Volkswagen were in the race to capture the market by investing in electric vehicles. Tesla had the tag of performance. BYD had the tag of cheap prices and more production. But Mercedes's Flux motor came in between them and changed the game. Tesla has been considered the world's most popular EV company so far. Its motors are very efficient, but the Flux motor is even lighter, more powerful, and gives more range. This will force Tesla to rework its motor technology. Otherwise, Mercedes's Flux models will start giving equal or better performance than Tesla. And when performance, range, and luxury come together, where will the customers go? This fear is haunting Tesla. Talking about BYD, they made their place in the EV market because they are making more vehicles at a lower price. But with the arrival of Flux technology, if Mercedes also introduces it in cheaper models, then BYD may suffer a big loss. Companies like BYD will now have to invest more money in R&D so that they can stay in this race. Flux motor is also a big challenge for companies like Volkswagen, Hyundai, Ford. Till now, these companies were playing the game by improving battery technology and design. But Flux motor has shown that the real game is of the motor. Now these companies will also have to plan to upgrade their motors. Now let's talk about the customer, i.e. the common man. Electric vehicles will become more affordable in the coming years due to the Flux motor. Earlier, people used to say that EVs are expensive and give less range. But due to the Flux motor being lighter, the battery will give more range and the production cost can also be reduced. When this technology will enter the mass market cars, more people will start buying EVs. Apart from this, the performance of EVs will also become great due to the Flux motor. People used to think that the feeling like a petrol car is not available in EV. But due to the Flux motor, now high torque, a more pickup and smooth experience will be available. That is, the notions against EVs will be broken. If we talk about market figures, the EV market is already growing very fast. According to a Bloomberg report, by 2030, every second car sold in the world will be electric. And after the arrival of technology like Flux motor, this growth will become even faster because now companies will be able to make more reliable and better performing EVs. Another big impact will be that the competition between companies will increase a lot. Currently, Tesla and BYD are at the top in the EV market, but with Flux motor, Mercedes has also become a top contender in this race. This will also force other companies to bring new innovations, and ultimately the customers will benefit from this. Now let's talk about the global economy. As the use of Flux motor increases, there will also be a change in battery demand because now the efficiency of batteries in vehicles will improve, which will reduce the consumption of materials and also reduce the cost. This will make EVs even cheaper. Another benefit of this will be to the environment. With the increase in the use of EVs, the consumption of petrol and diesel will be reduced, which will reduce carbon emissions. Many countries have already announced that they are going to ban petrol-diesel cars by 2035. This transition will become easier with technology like Flux motor. Benefits. What does it mean for common people? Now that Mercedes has revealed the truth of Flux motor to the world, the biggest question is, what does it mean for the common man? After all, is this new technology only for the very rich, or will it be within the reach of everyone in the coming times? And the most important thing, when will it come to the market? Let us explain everything to you one by one. First of all, let's talk about the benefits. That is what will change for your pocket and your car. The biggest feature of Flux motor is that it makes the vehicle lighter. When the vehicle is lighter, there is less pressure on the battery, and the battery covers more distance. That is, the day is not far when EVs will start giving a range of up to 800 to 1,000 kilometers. Right now, people do not buy EVs because they have to be charged again and again. But with the arrival of Flux motor, this problem will almost end. The second thing is performance. People often say about EVs that they do not have the pickup and fun of petrol. Flux motor will also remove this complaint. This motor is so powerful that your car will run fast, run smoothly, and will not overheat at all. That is, now sports car-like performance will also be available in electric cars. The third advantage is charging time. Battery efficiency increases due to Flux motor. When there is not much load on the battery, charging will also happen quickly. This will save your time and travel on long distances will become easier. Now let's talk about the price. People are thinking that Flux Motor means new technology, and new technology means higher price. But Mercedes claims that the cost of Flux Motor will come down as soon as the production increases. Its design is so simple that it is easy to manufacture on a large scale. That is in the coming 2 to 3 years. The prices of cars with Flux Motor will not be more than vehicles like Tesla and BYD, and this is the biggest relief for the common man. Now, one advantage of this engine will be that when cars with Flux Motor come in the market, there will be pressure on other companies as well. They will also try to bring such technology. This will give more options to the customers and the prices will fall further. With Flux Motor, your car will become faster, smarter, more economical, and give more range. This is the reason why people are calling it a game changer of the EV industry. Now, let's come to the biggest question: when and where? After all, when are these Mercedes cars with Flux Motor going to come in the market? Mercedes has clearly stated in its statement that the Flux Motor is now fully ready for production. Right now, this motor is in the last phase of its final testing. The company has first planned to launch it in its AMG series, that is, the Flux Motor will be seen first in high-end performance vehicles. If we talk about the schedule, Mercedes has announced the launch of its first Flux Motor production car by the end of 2025. This car will be seen first in their AMG, EQS models, and then from 2026 it will be gradually introduced in other models as well. First, these cars will come in the market of Europe and America because the demand for EVs is high there. After that, by 2027, the company will launch it in Asia and other countries. Countries like India will also not be left behind in this race. It is possible that by 2027 to 2028, Mercedes with Flux Motor will be seen running on the roads of India as well. Mercedes' target is that by 2030, all their electric models will come with Flux Motor, and if everything goes according to plan, other companies will also follow this technology. Now it is clear that Flux Motor is not just a dream project. This is a reality, and will be in front of you in the market very soon. In the coming time, EVs will not remain just a thing of the rich, but will also become a better option for common people. The future of the auto industry. Will it change everything? Now that Mercedes has unveiled the YASA Flux Motor, the biggest question is whether this technology will really shake up the entire auto industry. Will all companies run towards this technology in the coming years? Look, the impact of the Flux Motor is not going to be limited to Mercedes only. This technology is so advanced and effective that other companies cannot ignore it. Engineers from Tesla, BYD, Volkswagen, Hyundai, Ford, all are now engaged in studying this motor, because they also know that if they do not upgrade their motors in time, they will be left behind in this race. Today, the EV industry is already going through a major transition. People are moving away from petrol and diesel towards electric, but the Flux Motor has accelerated this change even more, because now the biggest complaint about EVs, low range, long charging time, and lack of performance, all of that seems to be going away. This means that in the coming times, not only will electric vehicles sell more, but it will also become impossible for petrol-diesel vehicles to compete with them. Due to the Flux Motor, EVs are now getting supercar-like performance, that too in a more affordable and sustainable way. It is not that other companies will sit idle. Companies like Tesla are already working on their motors. They will also try to bring some new technology like Flux, or even better than this. BYD is also preparing to introduce something like this in its cheaper models. This means that the competition will become even fiercer now. But one thing is clear: Flux Motor has proved that new standards have been set in the EV industry. Now companies will not be able to just sell an EV to the customer. They will have to provide a fast, economical, and longer-range vehicle. Due to this technology, the demand for petrol-diesel vehicles will decrease even faster in the coming years. And it is possible that by 2030, electric vehicles will become normal in most countries. This means that Flux Motor has not only changed the future of Mercedes, but has also changed the direction of the entire auto industry. Now it remains to be seen which company can compete with Mercedes in this race. But for now, the game seems to be in Mercedes' hands. Today you learned how Flux Motor can shake up the entire auto industry and how EVs will become an important part of our lives in the coming times. Now, this race is going to get even more interesting, and we will keep bringing every update to you.